It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey everybody, today I'm taking a look at an abstract strategy game for 2 players called Penki. Penki here is a beautifully produced wooden 5-in-a-row game. You are going to be playing pieces on the table, trying to get 5 in a row, and you win. It's an old concept, but this game does add a couple of interesting wrinkles to that old formula. Let me show you how this works, then we'll come back and I'll tell you what I think of it. The objective of the game, as I said, is to get 5 of your tokens in a row, and to begin the game we're going to place out a single piece here on the board to begin the layout of the board. This is the base of the whole structure, so nothing will be placed below that. So nothing below it, it'll just build from here up and out to the sides. And then everybody is given randomly from the bag here, you're going to draw 14 pairs of tokens. And in this game, once you pull out a pair, those 2 are attached. When you place pieces, you'll be able to pick any one of yours, any one of these, but when you place them, you have to place whichever pair, both of them, whichever pair you picked. The turns are quite simple. On your turn, you are either going to add a new piece to the structure. Again, nothing below the baseline, so this is not legal, and nothing above a place that's still empty. So that's also not legal. At the beginning of the game, you could do this, or you can do it obviously on the other side if you wanted to add a piece. The base is going to be able to be 9 across. So as soon as you get to 9, you can no longer expand the base of the structure. The second option, so let's say it's my turn, I do this. The second option is to play a pair. You pick any one of these that's still empty and you play a pair into it. So for example, this player could play this here and here. I should mention at the very beginning of the game, before you start pulling out pairs, you need to assign one player to be blue and one player to be the white player. There are some yellow pieces in here. These are wild and they work for both players. So keep an eye out for that. So that's it. Those are your 2 options. You play a new piece to the board or you add 2 tokens to one of these pieces. If you ever on your turn, let's say now it's back to me, add pieces to the final chunk of the board, you then immediately have to add a new chunk to the board, because otherwise you could trap the other player into always playing a piece for you, and you fill it, they play for you, you fill it, okay? So that's the only time in the game that you are both going to add your tokens, or any tokens, and play one of these. So if I do that, I would then have to immediately do this. This is now fine because below it is not empty. And that's basically the game. You go back and forth, playing out pieces. This player could play that. It could go back to me. I could do something like this. It would go back to them. They could play here. This is fine because, again, below it is not empty. And so on. You can never, of course, when you play 2 pieces across 2 different sections. They have to go into the very same one. The yellow pieces are something to definitely keep an eye out for, because you could get, you could miss something as it happens, but that's pretty much the game. You can win with 5 in a line, up and down, side to side, or even diagonally. So doing something like this, let's see if I can do it here, will also win you the game. I'm going to switch one out here just for the sake of the example. You could do that. And of course, this doesn't happen right away. This is not one of those games, which I like, where the win sort of sneaks up on you. And I very much enjoy that in this game. It's not one of those that might surprise you 2 turns in. The game is going to have a decent length of time. So right now, if this is if the last player here, the white player, would have played here and here, they would have won the game with 5 in a row right there diagonally. Again, the yellow's counting for everybody. That's pretty much the game. Very straightforward. You continue playing until someone gets that winning condition, and they, of course, win the whole thing. I tend to be a fan of abstract games, and I especially like them if they're very beautiful. This one's beautiful. In fact, everything this company is doing is very attractive. I like the look. Beautiful wooden bits, well done, well machined. It's good stuff. The gameplay I was a little weary of. I was thinking it was going to be a tired, formulaic kind of game. But you know what? I liked it. I thought it was well done. It's not my favorite abstract ever, but the concept of having to play a pair of tokens when you play, I dig it. It's interesting. The concept of how the board grows, very cool, very clever. The game also has a nice pace. It's a good length. You know, some abstracts are over sort of before you've caught on, before you were ready to dig into it. And that tends to be a turnoff for me. And then some of them drag out. There's this back and forth that never seems to end. And that's also obviously not good. This one has a nice in-between. It does get that pacing right. Now, yes, it's possible for there to be a tie because of the way the tokens end up. I haven't had it happen to me, so I'm very happy with that, but I understand that's a possibility. Gameplay is pretty straightforward. It's easy to teach. Just about anybody can get into the game. But I think if you like games that feel like classics with a twist, you're going to dig this one. It's clever, interesting, quick turns, really, really quick turns. But you need to be attentive. You need to watch what's happening. And the way the board develops is very pretty. Very cool game. Dig it a lot. I would recommend if you're a fan of abstract games that you look into this game. And look into the company, too. They're putting out some very interesting stuff. So check them out. And check out Penki if you like the X in a row style games. This is one that you're going to be digging. So look into it.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.